Welcome back. Episode 13 of the Full Programme Golf Podcast with me, Josh Conlon, and as always, with Stevie McAvoy. Today we're going north. Not too north that we're in Scotland, but north into Yorkshire with a little dabble into the Midlands. Let's get into it. Stevie.
Young Joshua, how are you?
I'm good actually. Yeah, been a nice week. Post bank holiday, it was always a little bit of tiredness, back to work. But yeah, all good. How are you?
I'm all right. I've missed you.
It's been a while actually.
I know. We were on the weekly podcast hype, then we rolled into 4 days of Ryder Cup.
It's taken some getting over though. Not in a bad way. We're happy with the result. We'll get into it a little bit, but it was a heavy weekend, wasn't it?
Oh, I think we should just fly into it. It's what we want to talk about, isn't it? Let's chop it up.
It's a great win. It's a great win for Team UK. Really, really chuffed. I mean, normally I get like massive blues on the Monday after the Thursday opening ceremony, Friday, Saturday, Sunday matches. But this year, as one of the two captains, all I felt was relief that we'd managed to get the win. I'm sure it was slightly different for you.
Yeah. Well, no, because I've captained the year before. I think when there's two captains each year for listeners' information on each side that just kind of help do all the planning and everything through the week. And I think once you've kind of got it done and you've won, you're clear now for a couple of years. You can relax, you can enjoy yourself because it is a lot of work and you don't want to be a losing captain, do you?
You really don't. It is quite a bit of work. We do team kits for the 3 days. We do opening ceremony like dinner. We do black tie or certainly jacket and tie dinner on the Saturday night, setting up barbecues, team rooms. It really is quite a lot. But no, a two-time winning captain now is quite nice to say.
The first. Historic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's not about me though, hey?
No, it was a class weekend. It was it's a tiring weekend. I mean, by the end of it, I was absolutely pooped. So it was a good lie-in Monday morning.
Yeah, interesting one actually. It was a very tight contest this year. Historically, we've been a pretty strong outfit, Team UK, as you'd expect, sat here in London. We're going to have a bit of a bigger pool to choose from, but I thought the internationals were strong this year. They actually won more sessions than us. We just managed to go to town on that Friday morning 4-ball session, 5-1.
Which is interesting because historically, we as Team UK are the lower team handicap-wise. And I'm sure the stats will show that over the years, foursomes has really been where we've made our hay. Whereas we just came out the gate, hot this year, like you said, with a 5-1 on the easier course 4-ball. And to be honest, we just cling on for dear life from there, didn't we?
We did. I was a bit disappointed with a lot of the other stuff. We 3-all in the afternoon, 4-point lead going into the second day, 3-all, and then losing 3.5, 2.5.
So it was tight, really.
Really tight. I liked how the singles matches shaped up. One of the boys on the international team leading them out had never won a point. So I felt really comfy that he wouldn't win a point. He did, which was a shock. You lost to a guy who isn't a golfer.
Yeah, I mean, God bless Kurt. He played well. This is who I lost to in the singles on Sunday. It's one of those ones where on paper, you're pretty wounded about that one. But I actually played pretty well. And when you're giving, I think gave 12 shots, you can't make any mistakes if they're playing well. And he had about an hour and a half sleep. So I thought I was going to be coming off after 11. That was certainly the target. And so, he's made me look a bit of a fool there, as young Kirtley.
Yes. I think when the messages...
Go on, have your moment. Dive into me.
When the messages started rolling in, and it was, has anyone heard from Kurt? Oh, we've heard from Kurt. He got in at whatever time it was. He's had about an hour and a half sleep. And as we say, he's not the best golfer anyway. I really felt that was a gimme point. But anyway, hey, it's about the team. As a team, we got the job done.
But what did we lose on Sunday? I think
7-5.
No, but we lost the first five sessions in a row. So the board was red.
Yeah, 5 matches
it was
in a
bloody red. And I have to admit, when I came off, I think I was the last game out there of that 5. And I just was assuming, as you probably would, I was just like, we're stuffed here.
Yeah, and then the old vets came in, didn't they? Byers, JG. I mean, we're using names now, but some of the boys who have been there for quite a while, they came in, the wily veterans, they made it hard, nasty. Cold Tuesday night in Stoke type vibes, if you're talking football analogies. Got the job done. I'll always remember stood on the 13th tee, grinding away, knowing that the point is really needed. And three of the lads come over in the buggy. They've got pints in hand on the Sunday, sort of giggling away. I'm like, how have you all got on? Oh, we all lost. They're giggling away. Like, we won 4 holes between us.
Oh,
and it was just like red rag to a bull. I was literally like, get out my face. Get out of my face. So anyway, yeah, good to get a win. Good to hand the reins over to a couple of the other boys, Georgie and Cookie.
Yeah.
Be interested to see where they take it. Every year it grows.
I said it's quite hard so this is year 7 that we've just finished, and I think you guys did introduce some nice things, but like each year you sit there and you think, like, how can we take this to the next level? Because obviously you've got to deliver exactly the same standard at an absolute minimum as the year before, and then what touch you can do. I'd just like to say the team room in total was a really nice touch, and I really enjoyed taking my Lucasades and my Cliff Bars throughout the weekend.
Yeah, Cliff Bars, Lucasade. We're getting old when the paracetamols are out. You've got the electrolyte drinks, a couple of other bits and pieces.
And we stuck a little video out on socials which resonated with quite a lot of people, and a couple of people called out a couple of random bits and pieces on that table, but there was a message behind them all, wasn't there, Josh?
Message behind them all, absolutely. Light relief also alongside some pain.
So give it to me. So it was a hell of a weekend. I just want your personal highlight. I know there were many. There always are.
Personal highlight. That's a very difficult question. I felt as though personal highlight was leading the boys out alongside Elliot, EB, friend of the pod. We've mentioned Elliot before. He's been getting a lot of grief for his game. We've given him a lot of grief. And I thought that his performance and the performance he sent out there on that Friday morning and being able to bring a point home was a real highlight, actually. It's just so good. I almost have blues when I hit the Saturday because it's like it's coming to an end and it's really not. I'd probably go as far as that.
Yeah, nice.
How about yourself?
What it would have been, without any shadow of a doubt, is on the Saturday morning, I was engaged in what can only be described as a taxing game. It was stressful from the first hole. It was close. It was competitive. There wasn't much talking. And we were 1 up going down the last, which we played obviously as a par 3. We won't bore people as to why, but we played it as a par 3. And I dump it in the front right bunker, back left pin. Everyone's watching with the last game out of the session, 1 up. Opponents make a par. I splash this, what do you reckon, 25-yard bunker shot to about 3 feet.
Generous. Probably 2.
2 feet. We'll call it 2.5. 2.5.
Me in the middle.
And then I found myself with this putt to halve the hole, win the match, 1 up. Take it into lunch on the Saturday, everyone watching, and I'll be honest, the nerves got the better of me, and it was just a short, sharp, jabby stroke left that lipped out on the left side, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed with myself for that because I'd worked so hard in that game to get it to that point. I'd hold 20-footer on 17 to keep it at 1. We went down 18. Sorry, I'm confusing everyone now, but you know what I'm talking about. The 16th and the 17th to go down 18. And so really, there were good moments in there, but probably that's the one that stands out the most for me, which is a bit of a shame, but it was something to work on.
It caught a lot of the hole in your defence. But yes, it wasn't your finest stroke. It was like watching myself over short and jabby.
You could just hear the tongue of the putter snake starting to twinge. But no, hell of a weekend.
fantastic weekend. Can't wait for the next one already.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, Joshua, since we've last spoken, we had the entirety of the PGA Tour FedEx Playoffs. How much did you lock into?
I enjoyed watching Rose win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've covered this before as well, and the listeners, I don't know if you remember enough, but I'm a big Team Rose guy.
Big Rose guy.
And I just thought he was brilliant. I loved his strategy on 18, hitting driver, knowing he's got the cover left. If he pulls it, knows if he pushes it, he's not in that bunker. I just thought nice aggressive play. Top player, has to go down as second best Englishman ever.
Behind Faldo. Yeah.
Has to be. I mean,
yeah.
He's been world number one, so he ticks that box. He's won a major, he ticks that box. So he's ahead of your Westwoods, who you might call out, your Donalds, you might call out.
Yeah, can't give it to them over him.
No. So I thought that was a brilliant watch. Obviously, Fleetwood threw that one away a little bit. The shot into 16 was really poor.
Yeah.
Middle of the fairway. But then I can't really remember the next one.
So then it went Scheffler.
No one will forget that.
Who
just wins every other week.
Fleetwood placed well that week as well, but it was really a Bobby McIntyre.
Chuck
away.
That was the Ryder Cup week though that we've just discussed,
yeah.
And as a result, just I wasn't concentrated on golf. Yeah, Bobby Mac threw it away. Scheffler won. I mean, there's not too much stories in the Scheffler win. Anyone throws it away, Scheffler is there to finish their dinner for them.
That's a good way to put it.
Every time he's just a joke. And then Tommy.
Do you know what? I struggled. I was kind of in and out of kind of going to sleep, but I did, because it's deep down in me. I woke up for the last hole and a half. I think I made it to about 30, and then
nice.
lost me for an hour, and then woke back up. But I didn't think there was any world that he was going to do that teeing off on the Sunday.
No, I was waiting for the heartbreak, and every hole that went by, it was like, okay, we're a bit closer.
Was it 11? He snap hooked it left, and I was like, here we go.
Yeah, I think it was interesting to see actually with the start, Cantlay starting double, then bogey, and basically just giving him not the tournament by any means, but he started the day level, and suddenly he's like 2 ahead of the guy, 3 ahead of the guy he's playing with, 4 ahead. Sorry, he birdied the second, the only birdie of the day.
Yeah.
Now I know he wasn't the only challenger in the end, Cantlay, but I think that did him a world of good rather than sleeping on a 4-shot lead like he did at Travellers and then just gassing it. So it was a great watch.
It was
great to see. Great to see him win the FedEx.
He's such a nice lad, isn't he?
He is. I've got one gripe.
Come on then.
One gripe with the fact that he's the FedEx Cup champion. He's won once this year. How is that the best player of the year, which is essentially what it is? There is only one winner of that, and it's Scheffler.
I don't like it either. I don't think it makes any sense. I think it almost makes less sense than the handicapped start that we've been seeing last couple of years. For me, just go back to what it used to be. There's an iconic photo of Tiger Woods holding that silver putter with McIlroy stood next to him with a FedEx Cup.
Yeah,
creates a great moment in golf. What is wrong with someone winning the tournament and then, as a result of the positioning of that final tournament, someone having accumulated enough points to have won the FedEx Cup?
I completely agree. There are enough world ranking points in that tournament. There's enough incentive money-wise. So the players will still want to be there. Scheffler said it in a press conference. He just said, I know there wants to be drama, but realistically, if what you're looking to do is crown the best player over the year, there are not many years that's going to come down to the last week, because that is the whole nature of a full season of golf. Now, what they're creating is just trying to have max drama at the end, which, fine, cool, whatever. But let's not call it the season-long winner then, because it's not. It's just who played best at the end of the year and played well enough to be close enough to get into the playoffs.
I mean, they're ultimately looking at just like an NBA, NFL, playoff style, you've got to win the last game to be crowned. But I just don't think it really works for golf. I mean, if you're gonna go for that, this thing, I know they wouldn't, but we've spoken about it. Stick them in a match play bracket. at least then you can be like, fair enough. But no, I didn't like that at all. Like, Scotty Shepherd's has been the best player by a mile, and yeah, to be fifth or whatever he came in the end, it just doesn't seem to make any sense.
And it was interesting as well. So the PGA Tour winner, season-long winner, was an odd one, Fleetwood. The Live one was also an odd one. You look at Neiman's won 5 times. He pretty much won every other week for the first 10 weeks. Like, I think it actually was win, didn't come anywhere, win, didn't, and so on. And he gets pipped by Rahm, who loses in the playoff in the last event, hasn't won all season, has just placed every single week.
Yep.
Which, okay, yeah, maybe that's more consistency. But if you win 5 times, for me, you're the winner of the season.
Oh, I mean, surely.
I quite enjoyed the match play format, actually, of the team championship.
So I was going to ask you if you saw any of that. I mean, they must be delighted with the fact that it came down to Crushers versus Legion, Rahm versus DeChambeau, like best 2 players out there battling for the top spot. Like, I mean, when they drew it up in a lab a couple of years ago, like that is what they envisaged happening.
Definitely. I was a little bit confused at the format. I had to read it a few times to see, okay, the last day's stroke play, everyone. Yeah, that was a great finish. The Hatton putt to keep it going as well. Love Tyrrell.
Just wiggled in as well, didn't it?
Yeah, and he holed a great putt to beat Richard Bland in the quarterfinals. They were behind. He held a great putt on 17, great putt on 18, and a great putt in the playoff to get through the quarterfinal against the Cleeks.
Yeah.
So that was good. I love watching match play golf. I don't think we see enough of it at the top level. As we've said before, still can't believe they got rid of the match play championship that was in Austin. It was in Tucson before. I think that's always been a great watch. If the players don't like it, tough.
Wow, I think there was a match play year where they had quite a good format where it wasn't just like, it was like a round robin in a group. And so like every player was guaranteed 2 or 3 games, whatever it was. Because I remember them being, you fly in, you basically lose first round and then you're just off.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, you paid however many 100,000s to be there.
But like the
round robin worked.
So they fixed that. I'm pretty certain that getting pulled from the schedule comes down to sponsors and essentially just like lack of golf on the weekend because of so many fewer people being out on the course. So but it's the purest form. It should be introduced or reintroduced to the golfing calendar somehow, and it shouldn't just be down to Ryder Cup every year. And so for that, I kind of get what Liv are trying to do, and everyone kind of poo-poos their team format stuff. Like, yes, I don't think they've got it completely right, but like at the end of the day, there is appetite for that. Someone's just got to get it right, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna find out if that happens over the next couple of years.
Agreed. I also really like if you finished in the top 4 in the season, you get to pick your quarterfinal opponent. So like Legion at 1 got to pick who they wanted in the quarters. They picked the Cleeks, and then they pick their order based on the Cleeks order.
Yeah.
I really just like small nuances like that. Just brings a bit of gamesmanship. You see Koepka absolutely losing his mind that DeChambeau wasn't playing 1.
Yeah.
DeChambeau was like, that's fine. You play against Anaban Lahiri, I think it was. He was like, I'll play 2. You win, I win, and our team will win the back game and we'll go through. And I think it literally came out like that. It was like, bye.
Yeah, I saw Koepka kind of throwing his dummy out about that. It was quite funny. I quite like those two going back and forth. I have to say, with all of this that's been going on over the last couple of weeks, Team Europe's looking good for Bethpage. Got to be feeling good about it, haven't we?
It really is looking good.
Yeah.
I mean,
you look at someone like Ludwig, who's not in our Auto 6.
He's getting picked.
Amongst others. Like, I think we are playing well, looking good. Rahm's not in our Auto 6.
Yeah. I think the picks actually pick themselves. I think the picks that need to be picked, Lowry went to the Tour Champs.
Yeah.
Stracker went to the Tour Champs. Yes, had a bad week, but has won this season.
Yep.
Ludwig.
Yep.
Finished strongly the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Hovland, again, has won this season.
Yeah, shown flashes.
And then you're probably looking at Rahm, of course.
And then do you pick the...
And then you go, for me, I think
brother?
you fit Fitzpatrick. I think you still fit pick. I couldn't say thick pick. because it's in America.
Bit of a toin cost there.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's in America, and because he's still shown enough glimpses of golf, certainly towards the back end of the season, I would take him. He doesn't have a great Ryder Cup record, but I would take him over Nikolai Højgaard. I know Nikolai had a good week at the Belfry. Again, not enough for me. I know Matt Wallace has had a pretty good season, but for me, again, you're looking at who's the better player.
I think Matt Wallace, every single time, into the last Ryder Cup, I was just like, surely, like, he's going to secure it. And then just never does quite enough, does he? Remind me, which Højgaard went last year?
Nikolai went 2 years ago. Nikolai went,
and Rasmus is just autoed.
If as I've just said, those 6 and the 6 that are the autos, if that is what happens, they have literally just subbed a Højgaard for a Højgaard. They could literally just give him the same kit.
Oh, really?
It's the same build, same person, just a slightly different face.
A question I think I posed to you is Harry Hall.
Yeah. But for me, if with Rasmus, you don't have to pick Nikolai, because if Rasmus picks an injury up, he can just pretend he's not injured and you can just sub Nikolai in. Harry Hall got to the Tour Championship.
Yeah.
He made the most birdies on the PGA Tour this season.
So I believe I'm not sure if he's at the very top of strokes gained putting, but like I think he is at the top of a number of the putting categories. And I watched the thing that Brad Faxon did, basically being like, this guy is just lights out on the greens.
He's also like the lab-built opposite of Bryson DeChambeau. He still wears the old cap.
Yeah.
Basically just send him out and take the big man down. I think he has to be in the equation. It's interesting because I don't actually have a reason as to why I wouldn't pick him.
It's always a bit strange when your kind of European player comes kind of exclusively up through the American system.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even sure he's a
Especially as an Englishman.
Yeah.
Normally, Hovland, Oberg have both done that, but they
seem to kind of, I don't know if it's just optics, but like they have kind of been quite committed to DP World Tour and being a member of the European system.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Harry's just kind of quietly kind of come up as almost looking like he's going to be that PGA Tour journeyman. But he's actually playing pretty well. Like, he made that Tour Championship. He's got some great assets to his golf game. And I don't think he'll get picked. But, like, if he did, I would be like, I mean, fair enough.
Absolutely. Especially given it's in the States. I just think the lack of golf in Europe, the lack of perceived wanting to be part of the European system will probably play against him, because what Donald tries to create, it's like it's the group, we're all a brotherhood against the Americans who don't like each other.
I mean, a question that I don't know the answer to, Harry Hall might not even be a member of the DP World Tour, and does that then mean he can't be picked?
Historically, that was the case, but
I'm not sure if
Rahm
it's changed.
Well,
That's true.
And Hatton's in. I guess Hatton played.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, what do we know when the picks come out? Must be very, very soon.
This week.
I'm looking forward to it. So Keegan's picking himself. Like, we can move past that now, can't we?
He is. He has to. But did you? I've read a really interesting just tidbit. It was if Keegan picks himself, he leaves either Sam Burns or Cam Young off the team.
Mm-hmm.
That they're looking like the 2 of 3 go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Keegan Bradley's ranked higher than them in world ranking, finished higher than them both on the Ryder Cup points list, certainly above Burns, touch and go with Young. But the article was saying, actually, over the last 4 months, it was a long enough period of time, he has the worst scoring average out the 3, and has actually earned the least amount of points out the 3 compared to the other 2 for the Ryder Cup. So the argument was that actually, if he picks himself, he's picking a worse golfer than the other 2, and I can't get on board with that. But I thought it was quite an interesting hot take.
Wow, I can't believe that's true, just kind of surface level from where I am, because it seems like Keegan winning the Travellers, placed high in the Tour Championship, and generally looks like he's been playing very well all season. Interesting. Yeah, I was listening to someone kind of chop up who they thought was going to go, not going to go. I think Maverick McNeely is 10th on the list at the minute, and basically everyone's just disregarding him, like no chance kind of vibe, which is interesting. But I had someone go pretty hard on the fact that they just wouldn't take Morikawa. Morikawa's had a weird year. He's not played very well. He's made weird comments on and off the course. Like is Colin Morikawa someone you want in your team room at the moment?
He's also had about 5 different caddies, which suggests he's searching for something he can't find, and
a draw probably.
Yeah. And when it's 5 different people you're changing, you're the problem.
Yeah,
like we don't want to point any fingers, but you're the problem. So again, he's not a particularly strong match play golfer. I mean, again, we've called out we don't see enough of it, so who knows? But he doesn't strike me as a guy you're going to be feared playing against, compared to. You'd still pick him over a McNeely.
Yeah, I agree.
But Sam Burns, really good record, really good match play record as well. Even when it was back to the World Match Play, finished 1st and 2nd, I think.
Yeah, correct.
Cam Young.
It's going to be Cam Young, Sam Burns, and Patrick Cantley is probably the 3 outsiders that they're going to be looking at. I can't remember. JT will be in 100%.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember. I think Brian Harmon's 12. Like, it doesn't look like he's going to go.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Would have loved to have seen a Harmon Cantley.
Bit of a circle back, actually, just because I don't think we talked about it whilst we were talking about the Tour Championship. Patrick Cantley is a really, 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 really difficult watch. And I know he snipes back when any journalist reporters kind of have a go, but like it's been a while, just because he hasn't played that well of late, that we've kind of had to lock in and just like witness him, and it is tough.
Yeah, it's not what we want to see. Was it 31 waggles of his feet before he hit that first tee shot?
But it's getting comfortable, and then there's like, surely there's like a diminishing returns over a certain number of waggles, I
mean, you stood there waggling your feet 30 odd times. You're scared.
Yeah, you got a problem.
You got some problems
somewhere.
Obviously, it helped Harmon with the waggling the club back in the Open, but
when the conditions are like that, to a certain extent, I can at least give him a bit more leeway, because there's a lot more going on there. But when it's Georgia weather, it's a ballpark of a golf course. Just hit things straight, man.
Yeah,
crack on. But I saw some video. It was just like, in comparison, this is what Lee Trevino did, like teeing off first at St Andrews in the Open, and it was like, I think don't know who, someone teed off before him, and Tony Jacklin, that's who went first. And then literally before Tony had like picked up his tee, Lee Trevino's like in behind him, ball ready, bang, looks down once, addresses it, sees it off they go. And it's just like, yeah.
Best part of that was just you referring to Tony as Tony. Like just, me and Tone, we just go down there.
I had his face in my mind, and I was searching through the Rolodex for the name, and then once I found it, I just felt, bit of a connection.
Yeah, liked it.
So anyway, well, Ryder Cup is almost upon us, the real one, and we are looking forward to it. Question I wanted to ask you just before we kind of move on to today's location. Our club just had a 5-club comp, which I can't say I've ever played in, but I wanted to ask you, 5-club comp, what are you going for? What are your reasonings for?
I think it depends on the course.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's a wide open track, driver's in there because you just hit driver and you just go and run after it and see. But I think if it's a normal golf course where there is some trouble, it's not too long, whatever, I'd probably go 3-iron.
Yep.
Trusty 3-iron. Goes about 240-ish, 235 through the air. If it's bouncing, then great. If it's not, it's still fine.
Yep.
So to start with that, I'd then look to pick a club that handles the longer par threes. If you've got a club that has a course, that has a few long par threes, for me that's a 6-iron.
Mm-hmm.
It tackles 3 holes. I think it nibbles nicely into the 3-iron, 6-iron if I want to play a bit of a longer par 4 as well. Then I'd probably move into the shorter par 3s because we have quite a few par 3s, and that's where I'd see the issues being. I'd probably go 9-iron. Feel like I hit that quite a lot. Again, I think it complements nicely the 3-iron for the shorter par 4s.
Yeah, good gapping.
Good gapping, exactly that. Then I'd probably go 54.
Mm-hmm.
I normally like my 58, but just gives that extra wedge option. You can really needle something out to 130 if you need to just close that face and give it some.
Yeah.
You can still get out of bunkers pretty comfortably, and then you've got your putter.
Nice.
Pretty straightforward, really.
Pretty straightforward. It's actually more straightforward than I thought as I asked the question, to be honest.
Yeah, and unlike me, fairly logical, I think.
Like it, yeah, I'd probably be out the same. To be honest. What I would like to do, and I'm playing it better at the moment, I play the forward, and compared to my 2, so I go forward 2-iron. 2-iron is a bit of a kind of piss missile, and is probably what I'd pick like right now. But that forward, I can get it so much higher and stopping so much quicker. And if I was actually a player, it'd be a great club. But yeah, no, I'd be 2, 6, 9, 54, bent to 55.
Nice.
And then the putter.
I might even actually just bring the 54, 58, leave the putter at home. Can't get any worse.
Do the Elliot Brown, just belly wedge it the whole way around. That would be good fun. And then finally, we've got to get a blind ranking, haven't we?
Oh, go on then. We'll have a look.
Quick blind rank. We'll have a look. All right, Joshy, I want you to blind rank these 5 bucket list golf courses.
Okay.
All right. So the first golf course is Merion East.
5.
5.
I would like to play it. Absolutely. Looks phenomenal. I'm just holding spots.
You just think
just
that's coming
holding
in?
spots. There's things that spring to mind, and Merion was not one of them.
Okay. Second course, Oakmont. This year's host of the US Open.
4.
4.
I'm holding the spot. Again, I'm happy with the way round that is. I'd probably want to play Oakmont over Merion, but neither of them shout out as a big Vista guy, as I've mentioned. There's no Vistas.
Investing in the back end here. So, third, Cypress Point.
2.
2.
Cypress Point is
top ranked golf course in the world.
Yes.
About to be host the Walker Cup, which I'm really looking forward to watching because you don't get to see Cypress Point on TV much.
Yeah, I think it looks unbelievable. I have somewhere in mind that is my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Cypress Point, but if that doesn't come up, I'll be gutted I've not put Cypress Point 1 there. But yeah, it looks unbelievable. Top ranked golf course, big vistas.
Big.
Happy I invested in the back end.
Maybe the biggest vistas. Fourth is Riviera.
Yeah, okay. 3. Yeah, happy with that. You're in a nice setting, some Hollywood names. How would it stay at 3? Who knows? But we'll move it from there. But it goes in at 3. It's certainly not the number 1.
I'm trying to think some munis just throw you away to see your face. But the 5th option is Augusta National.
And that was what, if you said to me you can only play 1 round of golf, like you can pick somewhere, it's Augusta. Just want to see it. Even if I'm disappointed by it, I want to be able to say I'm disappointed by it. I want the flex of being able to drive up Magnolia Lane. I just want to play Augusta.
It'd be the best stash rate as well, wouldn't it? So Augusta, Cypress Point, Riviera, Oakmont, Merion. Happy with that?
Yeah, I think the bottom 3 are a little bit interchangeable. I'd probably move Oakmont above Riviera, just because I think it's a bigger golf course in terms of what it's held. But yeah, I think the top 2 are exactly where I'd want them.
So you saw where I was going there. Are there any US courses that kind of immediately jump to mind that you would enter into that list?
Definitely.
Above those. Just throw us some names. Yeah. So I didn't put that in just because it's a municipal.
Pine Valley.
Municipal, would that be the right to probably play?
Public.
Well, public. There you go. That's better. Yeah, I was going to put Pine Valley, but again, I was just like, how much do we know about Pine Valley? I know it's ranked very high, but like...
don't know a lot, but it's just ranked so high, and I think the fact we don't know a lot is
quite cool.
Part of the intrigue.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Michael Jordan
Grove, yeah, not very well ranked, but like I'd
Interesting.
imagine it'd be an incredibly interesting day out. Any Bandon get up there, or is that kind of next tier just because again of the accessibility part?
Well, I've done it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so
the bucket list is ticked.
It can't be on the bucket list. It's been done. I think Torrey Pines is another that would be somewhere up there that I'd be really excited to play.
Mm-hmm.
Kiowa, to a lesser extent, I've not played it. I heard great things. Can get on a little bit easier, but they're sort of the names, sort of the ideas I'm looking at.
Oh, just to cap this off, where I would love to be able to say I've kind of gone and ticked off a lot of the boxes is the Wingfoot Shinnecock National Links of America. Like, I would love to get those New York State courses done because incredibly hard to get on, loads of history, and they look class.
Absolutely. So if there's any members listening,
give us a shout.
We'll be there. You let us know.
We'll be on the plane. Right. Where are we off to today, Joshy?
So, yeah, we're moving north, aren't we? We've done a little bit round and about. So we're going towards my neck of the woods.
We are indeed.
Yeah, Hallamshire. Was a member there for a few years growing up. Not where I was a member first at in Sheffield, but that was really good English as well. But yeah, been there. So we're going to move up into the Yorkshire area. We're doing Hallamshire. We're doing the big boy Ganton, and then we're nibbling down on the way back down to where we are now in London at Hollinwell, just a stone's throw away from the others.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for anyone that hasn't seen, we did go up this way in March this year, and we stuck a little vlog together, which you can find on our YouTube channel. But we thought we would just kind of touch them in podcast form because it was a good trip, really good courses, and we can certainly build a little bit of fluff around them as well in terms of if you were thinking about doing a trip going specifically to this area, kind of what other courses are on the radar. But yeah, we headed up and we landed in Hallamshire on the first day. And first thing I just want to say is for the time of year, April, not March, wasn't it? It was a bit later this year. Unbelievable conditioning of the golf course.
It always is. Hallamshire is a joke in how good it presents itself. I think it's criminally underrated, actually, when you start looking at rankings. I don't understand how it's as low as it is, having been from the area and played a lot of the golf courses in and around Yorkshire. It's only ranked like 7th or 8th in Yorkshire, which I can't get on board with at all. It's always presented unbelievable condition. When the wind blows, yeah, you might not enjoy it because it's on a few hills, as Sheffield would be. But you can't have a bad golf course when the Walker Cup a few years ago, 2 of the 12 were from Hallamshire in Barclay Brown and Alex Fitzpatrick. You got Matt Fitzpatrick, grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a procession of seriously good golfers, not just good golfers.
Interestingly, and we'll get onto it when we get into 3Ps, like I don't think necessarily the practice facilities are like that crazy either. And so for it to churn out this number of quality golfers, like you said, you got Fitzpatrick brothers, Barkley, Elliott. Obviously, once upon a time was an incredibly good golfer. Apparently so.
Crouch,
and then Crouch. I mean, so God, putting Elliott in that bracket now seems all a bit silly. But love you, mate. But when we look at Crouch, the Fitzpatricks, and Barkley, I mean, that is a phenomenal set of golfers coming from this golf course.
Yeah, one club. Yeah, that previous to Matt Fitzpatrick, didn't have a name coming out of it. But it's, as I say, growing up in Sheffield, it's always been the premier golf club there.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been in unbelievable condition, which is the start for any club, right? Forget how good the golf course is from an architecture perspective. If it's in great condition, it's doing its best already from the start. I agree with you. The practice facilities aren't really there. It's a pretty small range, but what they do allow, because they actually exercise common sense, is next to the practice range is the 15th par 5.
Mm-hmm.
Readily, routinely, can you just hit drivers over the top of the shortish practice range and practice with that. So I think what it does do is it tests all your shots. It's windy, it's heathland, It's fairly long in places, and you can also make birdies in other places if that makes sense. So you can go low. You do have to hold on. Very difficult start. And I just think those types of golf courses that test everything create top golfers.
Yeah, I agree. It's got incredibly good variation. As I said, for the most part, it looks kind of hard and fast. The greens were in April, like as good as really
rapid.
Yeah, kind of seen all year, even to this point in August. And it was really good fun. And I say, I love a course that finishes with a good par 5, because it just means if there's something going on around, we've always spoken about the second at RMS, like if that came the last 3, kind of how different that would be.
Yeah.
But beautiful finishing hole. Clubhouse just been redone with that kind of glass kind of boxing that looks over the last green. So yeah, really enjoyed the finish.
Yeah, it is a really good finish. You have your back-to-back par 5s, 14, 15. 14 really gettable, but out of bounds down the right. 15 a little bit longer, but it is a bit of a driving range. Into that par 4 16, bit harder, switches the other way, so the wind is going to switch on you, whether it's helpful or not, you'll know. And then you switch again, so you go the same way as 14 15 for the downhill par 3 with the rock face behind it, which I think is a fantastic hole. And then, yeah, as you say, a really reachable par 5 that has well bunkered, long strips of gorse bushes up the left. So the more you take on, the more danger there is, the easier the second shot. It's a really good finish, and you get the wind right. You've got 3 really reachable par 5s. You get the wind wrong, and you've got 3 big slogs home.
Yeah, nice. So let's pile into some rankings. Like I said, it is really the top course around Sheffield. And so where does it come out on your course?
For me, it's a 4. It's a 4 because I've played it a lot.
Yeah.
Which I think does lose some of the shine for people. It is one of the best course in Sheffield. It's certainly in and around the best courses in the area, but it's not a 4-5 for me. There are better golf courses, as we'll get onto for this trip. Even out the 3, I don't want to ruin the story, but it does finish 3rd out the 3. That's not a slight on it, given the other 2 are Ganton and Hollinwell. For me, it's a 4, a pretty solid 4.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say what it doesn't broach into is I wouldn't say it alone stands as a destination golf course.
No.
Now, as going up and going back to your hometown and Crouch invited us on as guests, like fantastic, absolutely great. But like, would I ever sit down and go, okay, we want to go play Hallamshire and then let's build around it? Probably not.
No.
And so for that reason, it also gets a 4 from me.
I agree. The other 2 courses you would look to do that. There's some honourable mentions in the area. Lindrick held the Ryder Cup. It's more Worksop way rather than Sheffield, which is, a small town next to it. So it's not too far away. You could tie them in. And as you see on the loop inspirations we have with some other courses. But really, if you're going for top golf, you are probably setting yourself up in the Leeds area. The North Leeds area, really. You've got your old Woodleys, your Moortowns. It's closer to Ganton. Fulford's close. You can nibble Lindrick, Hollinwell on the way back down if that's the way you're going. Or equally, if you're heading further up, you could go to a Rockcliffe Hall, and then suddenly you're moving pretty close to the Scotland area. So I think you're right. It's absolutely right. And for that reason, it's not the course you go for, so it has to be a 4.
Yeah. And then just on 3Ps, like we said, practice facilities are, it's a kind of course with not a huge amount of land in the sense of like where you're going to put some huge massive format range short game area, like it just doesn't exist. But they've got a short little range, they've got a good putting green in front of the clubhouse, and then clubhouse facilities are good, not massive patio, but you're just not going to get that up in Sheffield way because the weather not quite on your side most of the time, is it?
Yeah, not a massive patio. You do have the glass area overlooking 18 in the first, which is good. Pro shop's decent,
Pro shop's
logo's
decent.
okay.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's just a 3.5, sort of 3Ps, average. Doesn't do too much wrong, but because it doesn't have a range, like a proper range, in my opinion, it can't be any higher.
Yeah, agree with that. Cool. All right. So, as I said, Hallamshire was our kind of our first step in on this trip. Geographically, I will just say, we have not necessarily done the most efficient trip here, but it was a case of we were going that way and we had places we just very specifically wanted to go and see. And so we went from Hallamshire up to Ganton, day 2.
Yeah, which is a fair old schlep, actually.
Fair old schlep.
Yeah, it was a good hour 45 up there. And actually, they've got Dormy House facilities on site. They love hosting, from the conversations we had with the GM there. And so they should. If you've gone that far, and it is right out in the middle of nowhere, Ganton.
Scarborough.
Yeah, it's part of its charm.
Yeah,
it's how you get such a rugged links. But it is right out on its own.
It is, and it's one of, especially if we have any US listeners, if you're kind of looking to tackle your world top 100, it's one of the more random ones to try and get yourself out to. It definitely had kind of an old school club feel, had a lot of history, hosted a lot of kind of quite historic events over the years, quite a small membership. And we kind of landed up there, I said, after a decent schlep, and unbeknown to us, but was apparently relatively well publicised, there was a Yorkshire versus DP World Tour game going on.
And serious players.
Yeah.
You got Marco Penge, Dan Brown, Joe Dean, that's just off the top of the head. Like proper tour players who have gone on to finish really high up in the order of merit. We think about Penge. Penge has been unbelievable the last month.
Talk about Penge, just quick side note. Do you know he has a 2-iron bent to 15 degrees?
I didn't.
And there's a video which is worth going to look at where, is it the 10th at the Belfry? It's the famous one. I think he just hits this 2-iron to like 10 feet, drawing up over that tree and in.
I've seen the video. You do him a disservice. It goes to like 3 at most.
Oh, does it?
It's unbelievable.
He rips it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Proper.
Absolutely batters it. Wow, he's earned some money the last month. Played really well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, we just, and it was free tickets from what I understand. We went out behind them. We had a couple of people watching us.
Yeah.
They quickly realised we weren't in the match.
That fella that followed us up the fairway, and he was like, "What are you boys doing then?" And we were just like, "Oh, shoot, a bit of content." I think he saw my approach shot and went, "All right, see you later, boys."
It was, and we got great weather.
Great weather. I don't think the course played as hard as it can because the rough was still down in April. Probably, needed an extra month just to get going. But because of that game that's going on, those pin positions they put out for us were lethal.
Electric stuff, wasn't it? It was fantastic. And I think just touching back on the history that it's had, if I may, because I actually thought it was really quite an interesting observation we saw in that Ganton has held every team event bar the Ryder Cup.
It was something like that, wasn't it?
And they wanted that was it. Every team event bar the Solheim Cup and the Ryder Cup. So all the amateur stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually went for the Solheim Cup when it was awarded to... I'm not helping the story here now. I can't remember where they awarded it to, but it was a number of years ago, maybe six or 8 years ago, when they wanted the Solheim Cup, and they now can't go for it because that has grown as it should into the event that it is now.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was quite an interesting part because it is a fantastic golf course, and as you say, we got it on an easier day.
Mm-mm.
It is a beast.
It is a beast. And kind of just a nod to that history point, if you actually want all the details, they do tours of the clubhouse. So when guests come in, like they are taken around if you want to go look at it. And there are lots of different things to look at. So that's good fun. And then, do you know what? I really wasn't sure what to expect from it. Like I'd seen some pictures of Ganton. We've obviously got a course profile on the website. Go check it out. But I just wasn't sure what this kind of inland links was going to be like. I was pleasantly surprised. Like it was tough, it was good, it was varied, and really it's something like nothing I've really played before.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that will beat you up and just continue beating you up if you get it wrong. But again, unbelievable condition. I think that the architecture, the layout is unreal. Like, actually, you look at the variation of the holes, as you say, you look at some opportunities to go for greens, some holes where you're just clinging on for dear life. The bunkering's brilliant. Yeah, we saw some filth pins, which actually really added to the day, I thought. I'd love to see it again with the rough up.
Yeah,
I'm sure my golf bag wouldn't want that, with maybe the anger that will be taken out on it and the loss of balls. But I would love to see it because I think it would have given it even more definition that was maybe just lacking a smidge when we went.
Yeah, I agree. But no, it looked good, and you can check it out on the video that we stuck on the YouTube. It was a hot start for you as well, young Josh, wasn't it? It was birdie straight out of the gate.
It was just a comfy birdie. It's just not a big thing. Just to have a flick. It was I think it was a birdie bogey birdie, should have birdied start, and then after that cooled off a smidge.
What was then the spire hole? What number was that?
14.
So we get to 14. It's a really beautiful short par 4, and you got a church spire kind of in the distance, which is a great target line. And Josh, you'll see, wangs it to 10 feet, something like that. And Motor's all up there feeling pretty good about himself. And then we find out that Sam Bairstow, about an hour and a half earlier in this game, had made a hole in one.
Yeah, but I had it past the pin,
Yeah.
10 feet long, let's say.
Yeah, these patters, eh?
Yeah, they need to get in the gym.
Cool. Yeah, so look, an amazing course, great history, great ranking. Where does it land for you in terms of a number?
I'm going to give it a 4.5 for its history and its course architecture.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I'm honest, it's between a 4 and a 4.5 for me. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because it was in great nick, and people with more understanding of golf architecture than me are raving about it, and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go with 4.5 for that, but let it be known it's between a 4 and a 4.5.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with you. Like, I'd be lying if I said I came off and was like completely kind of taken by it.
Yeah,
which I think, not to sound like a complete golf kid here, but like, the almost the romance of a golf course when it's unbelievable. You come off and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, however you play, like, that's incredible. Not sure Ganton smacks you in the face quite like that, but I think it's got nuances that if you played it a number of times, you would start to kind of, it would grow on you. And I think, when I think of the kind of really large waste bunkers that are out there, I know you didn't like the 18th, but I thought they were quite striking. But yeah, probably a 4 to a 4.5. I haven't really got a great answer as to why it's not a firm 4.5, but like, I just didn't come off thinking that was the most beautiful, majestic golf course, but I could appreciate it. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, great golf course. As I've mentioned even today, no vistas.
Yeah.
It's not stunning.
No, it's not. It's hard.
That's exactly what it is.
It's hard. And then in terms of the 3Ps, now it's not in a position where it could host a Solheim Cup anymore with where that event's gone to. But the facilities are pretty damn good. Beautiful house length putting green. It's a long clubhouse, and so this thing goes right up the front of it. Really, really good putting green. Full grass range, like big, wide open field. And a pro shop that wasn't huge, but like a couple of nice little options in there.
Nice logo as well, which we look for.
Mm-hmm.
Managed to pick up a nice, clean white cap.
Yep.
I think it's a solid 4. Could even be you know what? I'm doing it a disservice. I'm going to go 4.5 because actually it's not missing much.
I think it's very much like the course. It probably is. It would be kind of 4.25 on each, which when you add that all together, we're into an 8.5 out of 10 golf course here. Which if you've listened to enough of these podcasts, it's actually quite rare to find something that moves kind of north of 8s. So, with that being said, like it is out of the way, but if you're going to tick off a ranking list, it has to get done. If you live in the UK, you can manage it. If you live outside the UK, I think you've quite specifically got a plan for it, but like that can be done. But a really, really strong golf club. I feel very lucky that we were able to go up there and see it and play it.
Definitely. I think if you're flying in from the States, as an example, you play it as you're moving through to either a Southport or a Scotland, or from one to another, and you sort of take that the long route round, but it's certainly worth it. Night over in the Dormy house, get the reception, get the hospitality, carry on up, because you are far enough up that you're getting close to the Scottish border town-ish.
Yeah, and I'd argue, like, especially if you've travelled from far afield, I'd almost play it twice if you got out there. Because as I said, I do think it's a course that would get better the more you play it. And as I said, it's got a good Dormy house there. So that was Ganton. So that was the second. As I said, got lots of footage there, and so you can check out really kind of what that course looked like on the vlog. And then we came to day 3, which was kind of on our way back home, wasn't it? Which was Hollinwell or Notts Golf Club.
What a place.
What a golf course.
Just brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
interesting because Crouch had played both. And he was like, because, you know, I think we were wrapped up in the rankings. And so we were like so buzzing that we were ticking off this world top 100 going to Ganton. And then Crouch was like, you're going to prefer Hollinwell? You're going to prefer Hollinwell? And, whoa.
I think what's interesting, though, is, and it actually held true, the condition of Hollinwell is not good enough. Actually, out of the 3, it was 3 in terms of its greens.
It was really the greens, wasn't it? It was the greens were just a bit woolly, which I think for April. Now I know Crouch said I think he'd gone on the greens were struggling as well. I would imagine there is a moment in the year those greens are good, but they were just a bit woolly when we.
A moment isn't enough, and from what I'm hearing, it's obviously it gets good, but it's often disappointing in its actual conditioning. I think it needs to step it up in its conditioning, because as a golf course, it's unbelievable. The amount of land they have, they could make some of these holes another 100 yards. We're not saying they need to, but it's such a big property. That long driveway in through the trees opens it all out in front of you. You can see why it's had open qualifying.
Shout out Barkley Brown.
Yeah, there he is. There's another boy. One open qualifying there. It really is beautiful. The golf course is a test, but you can score around it. You play well. Maybe that was because the greens weren't as quick, so you kind of give them a bit of a rap. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it just we got it at such a beautiful time of year where the heather was purple, the gorse was yellow. As Josh said, it's an amazing property. It's maybe the actual property the golf club owns isn't that large, but it's surrounded then by farm fields, and so you really get this feeling that the property is large as a result of this. You don't really ever feel the border.
No,
if you will, and it just rolls amongst these pines and through the hills with the sheep in the kind of distance. And it's a good golf course. It's a really, really good golf course.
It is. It's you think the second, the third, the amount of land that's behind that green, you could make that almost another par 5, even longer into the corner, and the 5th even longer par 5. Because that's probably the weakest in terms of ease hole. Very easy par 5, as long as you don't top it. You're hitting a short iron in. Obviously, that was the conditions we had. Maybe it's into wind normally, but don't know enough. But yeah, as you say, the variation springs to mind the downhill par 3, 13th, I think it is off the top of my head. that then goes, over the fields almost.
Which comes after I think the signature hole was that almost like half pipe style par 4.
Yeah. You've got the half pipe uphill par 4,
yeah,
and then you've got the bit of a nothing par 4 where you almost get at the hedges,
yes.
and then you're down before you move. Yeah, I think it might even be. I think it's 13 off the top of my head. I could work it there, but I'm not going to do that on the podcast. I think that's a phenomenal hole.
Great stretch that, and then even the one after the par 3 is a good hole, and then you come back up
into the top corner with the small green that's got 2 tiers on it, right into the corner. And then on 16, you've got the drivable par 4 that has trouble everywhere, bunker short. I mean, we could wax the we are.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Really talk through every hole, and you'd go, "Oh yeah, good hole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, good hole."
Yeah,
there aren't. I mean, maybe we've said the 12th is a bit of an okay hole, but it really does. Again, test every shot. You play it well, you can score, which I like about a golf course. You play it badly, it's going to beat you up.
Yeah.
It's fair. It has variety, great vistas.
It rolls as a golf course, but doesn't feel like an overly taxing walk.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a really good golf course, and just an amazing property. One that I came away from, and I was just like, wow, imagine being a member there. You just drive to that property and get lost in it every day so happily. Come on then, let's hit it with some numbers because we sound like we're falling in love here.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4.5. Again, criminally underrated in my book.
Yeah,
if you look at official ranks.
Everyone should speak about it more. Really should.
4.5 for me, and it is a 4.5. I loved it.
If the greens were Hallamshire good,
agreed.
Does it make a case to be higher, or is it just then a very, very strong 4.5?
I think it certainly does. As I say, it's getting 4.5 on layout and looks and beauty. It needs to be a better conditioned golf course for it to be any higher than 4.5. And maybe we're actually giving it too much of love because whoever is the greenkeeper there needs to seriously have a word of themselves.
I'm going to give it a 5, which is bold, but slightly less better. I'm not quite as well travelled as Josh when it comes to golf courses, and for me at the moment that is like firmly in my top 10 of golf courses I've ever played. And so for that reason, it was my style. I like that type of golf course. I played well round it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that I believe there are occasions where you would be able to go and those greens would be rolling pure. And if they were, then really, other than the fact that it's not an iconic name, what could I do to say, oh, this could have been better than that? Because like I think as an 18-hole layout, from what I like, it was absolutely superb. And like you said, I think it's criminally underrated. I think more people need to be talking about Hollinwell. I think that area, if we then build on beyond that, because I think, you look at the Sherwood Forest, you look at the Coxmoor nearby, everyone's raving about going down to Dorset at the moment and playing those courses around there. I think they should be putting this trip to Nottingham area in that same kind of same kind of world. So I'm going to give it probably a 4.75, but we'll round it up just to be nice.
Nice, that's nice. You've got to have a nice judge on the panel, haven't you? So I think, hey, we both loved it.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant, brilliant track. Again, Heathland, through the pines, beautiful. Facilities-wise, I thought the logo's great.
Yep.
I thought the patio is really in play with this from 2 holes. From the 4th, the 3rd and the 18th, the par 5 we mentioned, and then 18th, that it's not out of bounds.
Yeah, it comes right to the clubhouse.
You can hit it into the clubhouse. It's not out of bounds.
Yeah,
which I love. I absolutely love that. I'm not sure how often that'll happen and whether that's just logistically a nightmare, but I think clearly that means it's got a good patio. And the practice range, whilst we didn't see it all, it's a full practice facility. I don't think it's grass from what we could see, but
no.
Good putting green, good practice range.
Yeah.
Again, it's a a 4.45.
4. Yeah. I'd be in the 4 range.
Yeah.
As I said, small little pro shop, but nice logo.
Yeah, great stash.
So you're not getting your oven gloves and your tea towels and stuff like that. But like, if you're just looking to pick up a nice polo, then good logo. So I don't think it can be any higher than that. But yeah, 4, as I said, course is somewhere in a kind of 4-5 kind of 5 range. And so again, a really, really, really strong contender and up there with the best that we've ranked.
And it should be.
Yeah.
As a whole round experience, I agree with you. There is a lot being talked about the Dorset region, about Norwich sort of way, all that. Leeds on its own, Nottingham on its own,
yeah, so
a bit of both with Sheffield included. For me, it's certainly no worse.
Maybe just be good if you could just summarise for the listeners a couple of trip pockets from Yorkshire and the Midlands that you would look to do. Maybe one including Ganton, one including Hollinwell. I know we've kind of covered it, but just summarise up for us.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, the pocket with Hollinwell, if you just want to go to one area, is the Sherwood Forest, Coxmoor, Hollinwell triple header. They are all within 10 minutes of each other. I would say that that's a nice pocket. If you wanted to maybe expand that out a bit, you maybe drop Coxmoor and you maybe add in Lindrick, which is very close to the motorway. Very good course, held the Ryder Cup. Again, we're talking years ago when it was a smaller tournament, but that's a 3 that I would say is better than the Coxmoor inclusion. And then if you're then going to Leeds, you're looking at, if you are including Ganton, which it is the top golf course in the area, you should look to be doing that. Again, if we're only thinking about 2 other courses, I'd play Old Woodley and Moortown. Again, Moortown has held the Ryder Cup previously. For me, Old Woodley has one of the most beautiful clubhouses I've ever seen in golf.
Yeah.
With the thatch roof.
Yeah, beauty.
And 2 phenomenal courses. And again, great time in Leeds. Beautiful city.
Great city.
Which is maybe what you're missing from the Hollinwell, Sherwood Forest, Lindrick triple header. You're looking at Sheffield or Nottingham, which are both nice. Obviously, I'm a Sheffielder, but Leeds is a great city. So I'd say they're probably the 2 biggest, the 2 big ticket 3 course trips.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I went to university in Leeds, so I can certainly lean on Leeds being a good time. I think it's a region in general that is somewhat overlooked when you consider all the other options out of the UK. But we wanted to get up there. I know you played some already, but it was good to kind of see some of the heavier hitters. And as I said, they were really good. And so I think more people should be going up that way.
Absolutely.
I think that's it, really.
We've waxed lyrical long enough now. I think it's we'll give everyone a break and we'll get on to the next one.
Yeah. So, like I said, if hopefully this something in this conversation has kind of pushed you to think about looking at Ganton, Hollinwell, or anywhere around in that area, if you're interested, give us a shout. I said the vlog is on YouTube where you can actually see kind of visuals from the courses. I think we had a really good time shooting that and putting that together. And as always, we are Full Program Golf, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and I will see you next time, Joshy.
Love you.
Cheers.
Ta-ra.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.